Hello, my family. Today is going to be a day of planting. Everywhere I looked into the head schedules of our last frost expectation is April the 1st, which is about 3 weeks away. Now, I have seen that we are going to have some low temps, but not exactly freezing temps. Could this all change? Yeah, it absolutely could. But for some things, I'm going to take my risks. We are going to plant some radishes, some carrots, some fennel. We have some herbs we're going to be planting. We have all of this. All of this, y'all. We have oregano, basil, dill, cilantro, thyme, parsley, spinach, kale, carrots, radishes, fennel, beets, and bunching onions, some chives, and probably a few other things like Swiss chard and some things like this. So these are safe to go ahead and start planting now. Granted, I'm going to have to wait on the tomatoes and that. They're indoors. I do have to get some of these transplanted. I have some bunching onions to transplant out here because we are getting rid of all of the tires on the property. So I have some 2 types of eggplant to transplant. I have all my peppers to transplant, although they're looking amazing. I have some oregano that needs to be transplanted. So we've got a lot of planting to do. I have yet to do videos this year on planting, and from what I'm seeing, it's going to be, hallelujah, a great year. We needed that. Also, I want to say a thank you, a huge thank you to Miss Tina. Thank you, darling. I got your second cookbook. This is amazing, y'all. This is amazing. Y'all, you've been so sweet to me. I noticed yesterday going back on this channel that this channel has been around for 2 years. Now, it became seriously active about a year ago this month, and I couldn't be blessed enough. And I know I said it in the community. Not many get to see the community for some reason, so I'll speak it here. I can't thank you all enough for what you do for me and this channel. Keep hitting that subscribe button. Keep sharing this channel. And hit that like button because it lets YouTube know that I'm acceptable and it keeps me rolling. So if it's as simple as that, y'all. Just if you do that, we can keep going. But I wouldn't have made it this far without you. So I've got to thank you for that. So now we got this stuff out of the way. Today's day is about planting. And these are safe seeds to plant. Now the one thing I am skeptical about, the one thing I have a hard time with, and that would be my squash. Our squash deals with a lot of squash bugs. Now this year I did get row covering, so I am planning on trying that, but I may take those seeds and wait till after the borer vine season has ended. Is that a risk? Yes. I have a long growing season of 250 something days of growing. However, different seasons, different circumstances, plants can grow however they want to. So I could have an abundance if I planted these in June, or I can have nothing because it got too hot and too dry and they wouldn't produce. So I'm sitting here with a dilemma on when to plant my seeds. So I'm leaning more on planting the seeds in April, about mid-April. May and June is our borer vine season. So if I plant my seeds, I will take row covers and let them grow under the row covers. That might be an option for me. We could probably see if that works. When I do that, I will show you how we're going to set up, because it'll be set up like a wagon wheel type of thing, basically. We're going to have our raised bed with our hoop over the top and draping our row cover over it, which also protects our plants from the frost. So, with that, we're going to spend outside today. It's going to be in the upper 60s, almost 70 degrees. I am tired of being cooped up in this house. I got a lot that I'm thinking of, and in 3 weeks I go back for round 2 and my procedure for my mouth, which is the biggest one. I'm tired of thinking about it. So let's go work outside in the sunshine where it's happy. I hear the birds. We play with seeds. We'll play in the garden, transplanting plants, and we're going to spend the day growing. How does that sound? Let's get started. Okay, y'all, I did want to share a device that I got from a real good friend of mine in Michigan last year. She sent me this thing called Square Foot Gardening Template. I'm going to tell you, this thing has been absolutely amazing. And I know it looks kind of funky. Now, it did come with a pen type of piece, which I don't know how. I try to keep everything in its box, but it got lost. So it came with a pen that goes inside each of these holes. I will show you how to use this in my raised beds because I'm going to be doing that with my carrots and everything. And each one has its chart per color of what seed goes where or what plant goes where. So this is kind of cool. This has allowed me to grow much, much more than I've ever grown before. And I save space doing so. And with this, my gardens stay full. It has been absolutely amazing. And I am definitely going to use it much, much more this year than I have been in the past. So when you see this template, it is because this year we are doing square foot gardening, y'all. So look forward to seeing this in today's video as well. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to take you to the first raised bed I have been working with already out here. You see this celery? Y'all, I have never been able to grow celery before here. This is promising to me. You see these rows in the middle here? That is our salad already starting. I have basil that's pitiful that I've been working on. I bought that from the store. I have some bunching onions back there in the back. The ones we're going to be pulling are these right here. I am, like I said, removing all tires. The one thing I am struggling with these tires that I'm wanting to get rid of, and I don't know if you can see that, but our ant beds. Here in the deep south, we get a lot of ant hills. It's driving me crazy. And these tires have been, I don't know, their favorite place. So I am going to be pulling every one of these green onions out of here. I'm going to show you some more, and then we're going to show you where we're putting them. Okay, you remember the swimming pool? Well, they're not doing so hot in the swimming pool, so we are also going to pull them out of here. Now, let me show you where we're going to plant them this year. Now, you remember these 20-foot raised beds. Now, the depth on these things have been pretty small. A little bit too small for pepper plants and eggplant and tomatoes. Those need a lot deeper growing formations than what these beds have. As you can see, bring you around here, these are deep and plenty deep enough for those type of vegetables, and for root vegetables like beets and carrots and radishes and our squashes. These beds are absolutely amazing for that. But I didn't want to discard this already set up, which we have over here too. This is what we're going to use for our bunching onions. We're going to use this for our salad beds. The plants that have the less root system, this is what's being planted in these beds. This gives me so much space in here to grow a huge salad, never ending throughout the summer as much as possible. Now this area stays a little bit shadier than this one over here, so I'll be able to keep lettuce stuff over here a little bit longer, and then I'll have to stop growing lettuce and be able to grow other things in here in the meantime. So because it'll get too hot, they'll bolt, and I'll have to wait till fall. But in the meantime, this spring, I am going to have my own salad and not have to go to the grocery store and buy it. I can get freshness right here in our own backyard. So this is where we're going to transplant all of our green onions. Now over here on this one, We're actually probably going to be growing some herbs in this bed. Now, I would love to have a huge stock of herbs like basil and that, because I go through this like crazy. Parsley, cilantro, basil, I go through all of that. Oregano, marjoram, thyme, I go through these. So I'm looking at this bed being one major, huge herb bed. And it's gotten me thinking that this is going to be the best opportunity for me, and then saving these beds here for something better. So, is this going to work? I won't know unless I try, and that's what we're going to do today. Okay, y'all, so I got to tell you an interesting story right quick. So my husband and I have been thinking this year, do we really want to get back into honeybees? The last 2 years have been really hard on us. We have purchased honeybees. We have lost our shirt on honeybees. Many of them just up and left, and a couple of them died. And it just, even though we got honey here and there, we never really got anything to keep in consecutive. So we sat and honestly thought, do we really want to do this? I even actually, I'll be honest, I prayed about it. Well, we came to the conclusion that we're not buying this year. That's the only thing. And if it's the good Lord's will, we'll just catch wild bees. Well, here's where it gets quite interesting. In the midst of our prayers, in the midst of our thoughts, is this what we should be doing? My husband gets a phone call, y'all, from a preacher from a church. He has unwanted church guests, and I got to show you these unwanted church guests that made it to our homestead. If this isn't the good Lord talking to me and my husband about this homestead, I don't know what is. I don't think we need anything bigger to slap us upside our head. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Do you see this? This was the unwanted church members, and they are now sitting at Parton's Heritage Homestead. I'm telling y'all, this is amazing what God will do if you just ask Him. We prayed, is this what we're supposed to do? Y'all, this thing is huge. This box is actually huge, and I'm having to work around these babies today. So it's a beautiful day. As you can hear, the birds are out, the sun is out, and these bees are acclimating themselves to this area. So I guess the Lord was saying He will provide our needs, and this is where we are exactly supposed to be. He is making sure that we have everything. The only thing we don't have is milk, but we may have the honey, and we definitely have the land to grow. And we have the berries to mill. So, y'all, welcome to Parton's Heritage Homestead. This is a new season, a new year, and let's start growing. Okay, so over here, these are one of those tires my husband brought home from one of the tractors from work. I saw the little one and thought, wow, that would be so awesome to turn this into a container area for mint. This is going to be my spearmint bed. I lost all of my mint over a very bad freeze, not this year, but last year. And so we had kind of a mild winter this year, this past year, but the year before that, it was really bad. So it kind of wiped me out. I'm pretty much starting over, even on which mint. It's very hard to kill, but that freeze killed it all. I also lost my anise hyssop, and I'm going to have to grow some more of that. So I'm thinking this bed is going to be my spearmint bed. And one of the decisions I'm thinking of for peppermint, because I have both, I do not want to mix the two mints together. So I may just take the swimming pool where the green onions are and clear that out, fill that up with some more soil, and I think we're going to turn that bed into a peppermint bed. If not, then I have another bed. So let's go over here and look, and we'll see which one we choose. Okay, so that's the bed right there that the green onions are in. And then I have this bed. There's a problem with this bed as well, though. This one, ants happen to love it too. So I could plant my peppermint here. I don't know how much of a deterrent it is for an ant. But the ants don't seem to bother that. So this is where I'm trying to decide which way I want to go. And I'm honestly leaning towards that right there to plant all my peppermint in. So while I sit here and think about this, I'm going to go ahead and pull out all those green onions, because we're going to transplant them no matter what. Okay, y'all, so I had just harvested all of these onions I'm wanting to transplant. However, I am also going to do something with this. A lot of these weren't even by seed or by plant, y'all. These were cuts from the grocery store. And this is a gift that keeps on giving. Now, how am I going to actually do this? I'm not going to transplant them like this because, well, they're big enough to harvest. What I'm going to do, however, is I am going to cut, just like I did when I bought them, I'm going to cut 1 inch from the bottom, about so, right here, and I'm going to take this piece and replant it right here, while this piece we are going to eat. So I'm going to sit here and divide up all these onions, and I'll show you some more. Right now I got to find something to put these keep onions in, and once I do, we'll be right back. Okay, I found me a temporary container right here. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to get me a small board, because I want to make these cuts nice. I don't want to mess up the cuts on these. I want them straight and as much as possible. I'll just probably bring them behind you while I do this. I'm going to gently take apart the roots on these so that I'm not disturbing them. Rinse them off right quick. Just shake off that excess. Cut 1 inch. Put them in this bowl because that's what we're going to replant. The rest stick inside this container, and this is what we are going to use to eat with. We're going to actually have a chicken, either fajita or stir fry, something tonight. So I will definitely use these onions in our supper this evening. And that's how we're going to salvage, I should say, these onions. Use what we have, harvest, and replant. Now this one here, I'm glad I did that because it was starting to, oh lordy. Yeah, this one here was starting to actually produce flowers. So it was time to definitely pull this apart. Now that one just broke. There was a main mother base that I have to, there we go. So, and they're pretty hardy, like a tomato plant. It's not that easy to really kill these. So that was a good, this one was the mother. You can see, let me see if I can bring it up closer, where it had started producing its own stem, and these other ones I just broke off of there were the stems to this. So I'm going to cut this one down. We're going to replant this and create even more. This saves me, y'all, from having to buy plants, seeds, and we go through a lot. Mediterranean lifestyle, we go through a lot of scallions. So I will probably be doing a big mess of these. But it's one of them, since I learned how to do this, that I could keep growing and not have to lose or keep seeding and all this. So I'm hoping this will help somebody. These are things that can keep on going as long as they don't turn to flower. Now, if they turn to flower, I'm just going to tell you, let it flower up. Let those seeds dry up. Let them replant themselves, because that's where a lot of these also came from. They reseeded themselves. So, and I have not had to plant any scallions, honestly, or I've not had to plant any seeds, because these bats have done their own all this time. Some of these, they're about a year old now. So, and I'm loving this. That's exactly what I'm going to keep doing now. So, I'm going to go through this, and we do have some young ones that we are not going to cut. We're going to put them right back where they belong because they still got time to grow. So I'm going to take, let me see if I can find some of them right here. Here's a good batch. Now these are awful tiny, tiny batch. And I'm probably going to take this cluster right here very carefully as much as I possibly can. Here's a little baby one. See this? This is going to go right back into the garden. This is an actual cluster right here, so we're going to break this apart where they can form their own. Very gently, as much as possible, pull the roots apart and replant all these because these are new babies, still have time to grow. So I'm going to determine what's to grow, what's not. We're going to go back either way. We're going to plant all of this all over again. So we will be right back. Now I had to show y'all, look who does not have to go out and buy onions right now. Look at this big old stalk, y'all. This is amazing. This is the cuts from the roots that we're getting to use in our dinners this week. I'm so excited. So now let's go outside and plant those roots so that we can get more of these. So we'll be right back. Okay, so how does this template work, you ask? It's called a seeding square. You can find these on Amazon. They're really not that expensive, and they are very well worth. If you are looking to do gardening, square foot gardening like I am, to get the most out of your beds without wasting space, I highly recommend this. I am using this more this year than I have ever used it. And like I said, I was blessed with mine. I am missing some of the parts anymore, but the aspect is still there. So, like I said, these come with different colors and different holes. Each one represent a different, basically a different plant. So I am going to look up, because I'm doing bunching onions or scallions. So I'm going to look up on my planting guide here, which has a color for everything. I'm going to look up and see where I can find my scallions, and it looks like it's going to be in the red zone. So my scallions, I'm going to plant as I make my template in every, I'm hoping you can see this, in every red hole here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my square and imprint it into my bed. Then I brought actually a pen because I don't have the unit. So I'm going to come through here and make an indentation in here to represent every place that these roots need to go into to plant. Just like so. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm doing this in every red mark. When I lift this up, here is my square. And I have my top part to put my next square, which this one's fixing to be moved. And then here are all my holes to get the best out of the growing space for my scallions. I am absolutely loving this, and I cannot wait to get started. So what I'm going to do first is take and re-pull this one out. And yes, I'm using my hands, y'all. It's easier for me to do that. So I'm going to actually pull this out of here. Now this is a big root. So I'm just kind of, I'm going to have to disturb the holes that I've done. But, oh, that's got to go even deeper. Okay. There we go. Come on, big boy. Matter of fact, I probably could have, yeah, take some of these roots. This ain't going to hurt them, believe me. These are very hard to kill. I'm going to come in here and plant this one right here. Now I did disturb my holes here again, so I'm going to line this up here. See, there was a hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's my next one. And now this is where I am going to take these roots that we've cut, and we're going to plant these right in here as well. I'm going to take each one, pop them in their hole, cover them up with their soil, and they're good to go. The next one will go right here, and so on and so forth. Now I am actually going to go back and get my snips, and I'm going to trim these roots. They will absolutely grow back. So let me go get those and we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so you would probably think, oh, Miss Carrie, you're fixing to kill these things. But that's not true, because if you think about the ones you buy from the store, I'm just going to take them and trim them right there. Now, these crap could have been a lot better clips, which I'm going to have to go find some better ones. But if you think about the ones you buy from the store, they're even shorter than this. They have been trimmed, y'all. And yet we come, stick them in the, because they've been staying out for a while, you'll put them in water and then bring them out here and we'll grow them. So that absolutely does not hurt them. But I definitely need to get some better snips. My goodness. I think it's time for me to get some new ones, y'all. Those are about 3 years old. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, finish planting out this square, and I'll show you how to do the next square. In the meantime, I'm going to go find some new snips because, well, these ain't working. And once I get this done, we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so I just showed you how I just did this. Now, we got 16 onion starts right here. So at the top of that line where I had made my square, I am going to place this one on top of that. That way I keep it spaced apart. And it looks like in this, just this row alone, this is where I can plant 32 onion starts for scallions. However, I can actually get more than that because I see this space, you see up here, now though this is not squared, y'all, I could still get at least another, if I were to put this here, I could get 1 or 2 rows, and I'll probably push my luck at 2 rows here on another round. Maybe even just 1 row. So I can go right down this middle, and that's what I'm going to do here, is I'm going to eyeball right here, 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 and here. So that's 32, 33, 34, 35, 36 onion starts in one section. And I have 2 square foot and then approximately a half. So that's a lot of onions in one space that I was not utilizing very well. Now I come back here again. I will make my indentations where to plant my onion starts, just like so. Oh, you get the full farm today, y'all. But I wanted to see if this would help anybody. You can literally make up your own starter if you wanted to. And if you're interested in that, I will give you the template somehow. I will take a picture in the comment section, the community section, and show you the template if you wanted to make up your own square foot square and do what I do by the colors. So now I'm just going to go here. I picked or trimmed off my roots, and it's just as simple as this. You're trimming off the roots, come back, find that hole, fill it in. You don't want to completely bury these, y'all. Come back here again, pick that one, super simple. Come back here, trim the root, take the skin off that one, come in here, pop it in, and that's it. I mean, this is as easy as this. It can't get any easier than that. And I'm able to continually keep growing all of my onions. So again, we're just going to go ahead and finish off all of these onions that we have. These are the cut ones. I still have the greens I got to go through. And I may end up just cutting some of those and starting them over as well. So I may just end up doing them all like this. And then that way we have new fresh starts. So I'm going to continue this and we will be back. Alright, now we got that front row here and I show you how to do that. But now we're going to have to start another row. So again, we come on the outside edge where we had this square, place our template here. And I'm thinking you're getting the idea from here. Just take our template down, pop in every red hole for our onions. And can you see all this space that is being used and nothing wasted, yet it allows enough space for each onion to grow. And so I can get better crops this way. And then from there, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go all the way to the edge, come back down, and go through here. But I'll be out. I'll get 2 rows of onions, which is plenty enough for me. And if I need more, I've got way enough space here to plant some more. So I'm going to go ahead and finish planting the rest of these onions. Then we're going to move on to something else to plant. Okay, y'all, so I just finished 58 onion starts in that bed alone. I'm looking at doing my next move. I wanted to take a brief moment. I needed to charge this up so I can keep this video going with you, because we've got a lot to plant and a lot to show you what to do. Now, I will tell you this. You're going to find in life, and I'm learning this the hard way, y'all, people are going to want what you have. I have an instance right now where I have planters somebody wants, and it's going to require to do some work, which means emptying out the dirt, because I'm still healing. So I am actually kind of limited how much weight I can lift. And at this point, all it requires is pulling the dirt out, taking the tires, and hauling them home. But no one is showing up. That's leaving me to do the work. Don't let this happen to you. Say no. There is a point that we can help others, and I'm going to tell you there's nothing wrong with that. But know your limits, please, because in the lifestyle that we live, so many could want what we have, y'all. I am not a greedy person. I am a giving person, if anything. What I am doing this year is I'm learning the word no. If you cannot be here when I need the help to do what you need, then I can't do this for you as well. So that's just one. Now, that rant is over, y'all. So I will say this, the template. You do not have to buy a template, y'all. I am going to give you, just a second, I am going to give you a format to use, okay? And with that format, I'm going to show you how to make an inexpensive square foot template that you can use in your own garden, and it will work. I promise you it will work. So let me go get my template and let me show you how to do that. Okay, y'all. So this is a 1 by 1 foot square. It's a 1 foot square all the way around. Now in there is 29 holes, including the center. Now each hole is spaced, and I would have to go into true dynamics as to spacing as far as these. But what I'm going to do is take a snapshot, and I'm going to put this along with the chart in the community box and let you see this template to be able to make your own. So I would say these are about 1 to 2 inches. The red ones are 1 to 2 inches apart from each other. Then I would have to go to the yellow ones to tell you how many inches apart those are from each other, and so on and so forth, because I would be working up and down basically for that. So this square right here, you can use a inexpensive piece of sturdy cardboard, and then when you go to pop your holes, make an outline of the square platform like we showed you in the garden, where we tamped it down, made your plate, and then moved it over. You can do that. You can make your perforated holes if you have a very thin piece of wood and want to do the same thing and drill out your holes. This can be easily made without having to purchase one, or you can purchase one. So I will give you a picture of what this looks like, along with what the chart says per color. And I mean, I'm willing to help as much as I possibly can. So this makes it easier for me to be able to grow more in my gardens. Now I'm going to show you how perfect this works in the 8 by 4 by 2 foot beds. Now remember, this is 1 square foot. So we have 4 foot space. Can you imagine how much growing we're going to get in that 8-foot bed? Let's get to it. Okay, my family, now I'm going to have to hold this for just a minute, so I may be moving it around too much. But I wanted to show you these beds. Let me get you over here. You would think that these beds would be plenty enough growing since I have 7. When you think about it though, I'm wondering if I should even have more, because there's so much I want to grow for myself. But we're going to make these work. So I'm going to set you up here and show you what we're going to do. Alright, this is one of the very last in this row. And I am going to turn this into the root vegetation bed. It is plenty deep enough, and roots would grow, root vegetables, carrots, beets, radishes would grow amazing in these beds. That I have tried for 2 years in the low-lying beds, and they just didn't work. They ended up growing up, elongated, and laid over. They never formed the way they were supposed to. So, we're going to do it in these beds this year and see how everything goes. Now, I have 3 different type of vegetables I want to do in here, and it's probably only going to be halfway because we don't eat as much of them, but we're going to be planting the radishes. I will say we eat a lot of those, so, and those are the type I can succession plant as well. So, we are going to plant carrots, which we don't do a whole lot of because hubby can't really eat too many of them. We are going to plant beets because beets are good fried and they make beautiful brine for eggs, which we get plenty of. And we're going to be planting a lot of radishes. And I'm going to grow some fennel in here because fennel is another root that grows big. I have tried the low-lying beds. It does not work. So we're going to try it in here. Square foot gardening. Let me take you over here and show you how we're going to square foot garden this. Now this is 8 foot. Let me see if I can prop you up this way without you falling over. So, can you, yes, you can see this. So we have 8 foot wide. Now, if I were to tuck this in each corner, going as far to the wall as I can, placing my template, just like so. There's 1, 2, y'all, this is amazing. 3. And believe it or not, perfect fit at the very last edge of this bed, as well as my number 4 template. So, I can get plenty more space and growing in these beds than I ever could in my smaller ones. This is the reason why I chose to do this one for our root vegetables. Now this side, I'm going to go ahead and start with our carrots. Then I am going to do, I'm probably going to do 2 rows of carrots, 2 rows of beets, about 3 rows of radishes, and fennel. I may even do 2 rows of beets. We'll see what happens. But carrots we're not going to do a whole lot of, but I really would like to know how that works. So let me get our template pattern, let me get our seeds, and we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so my template now, I'm going to be looking for the color. I got to look up where I can find carrots. So carrots would fall under, good question. Okay, so radishes is the red. Wow, carrots and beets are the same red, y'all. So we're going to get per square foot 16 seeds. That's a lot of vegetables in a square foot space. So this is pretty cool. Again, I lay my template. Sorry about the train, y'all. I placed my holes in each one, just like so. And now I'm going to come back and I'm going to plant 1 seed per hole. Now I am going to be using the Imperator carrot. These are from M.I. Gardner. And then I have Danvers half longs, 126s. We're going to try some of them on half of this. So we'll actually have 64 carrots. That should be plenty enough carrots, y'all, to do something with. So, and then some of these holes, I probably did them just a little bit too much. So I'm going to go back here, fill them in some, and then drop a seed. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a seed per hole here. These are so tiny, y'all. Come back, fill my tops. And I will be watering this whole thing afterwards. Go ahead and pull these out. Plant my seed. Plant my seed. Oops. Plant my seed. And then plant my seeds. We're going to go through here, do this whole entire length of this bed with 2 types of carrots. Again, 2 types of the my gardener's carrots, and then 2 types of the Danvers. So we go ahead and pop all of these in here. Once this is done, we shall be back and we'll start with our next run, because I'm going to wait till all of my seeds are planted and then water this entire bed. I'm excited, y'all. And these are ones, our temps may be dropping, but we're not looking at any major freezes right here, right now. Honestly, I think, I mean, it could surprise us, but these are not ones that'll get completely damaged by it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this one. We just did this square foot. I'm going to pop these back in here, set up my next template. Just like so. Get my holes ready and start planting seeds. So when I get this whole entire run done, we're going to go ahead and do our beets, and then we're going to do our radishes, and then we're going to do our fennel. So, and that's all we're going to do here. So I'm going to plant this bed and we will be back. Okay, y'all, and like magic, in all reality though, it is now several hours later in the day, and I'm going to show you what we got done and what we got cleaned out. Right here I have 4 rows of kale planted. I have a row of radicchio planted right here, and I have 3 sections of spinach, New Zealand spinach, planted here. I still have all this growing space right here to do, and the back row to this to clean up and do as well. This I cleaned up around the saffron. I don't know if we're going to get any flowers this year, but the saffron is showing me that they're still here, so that's a good sign. Now, let me take you over here. Yeah, this is all that cleanup, y'all. I end up pulling out of those beds. So, one of the raised beds, this one here, is full. We have carrots. We have one run of carrots, which is 4 square foot of carrots in this one section here. We have 2 runs of beets right here, and we decided to go double on the beets because we're going to also can some of them. So actually I think I've got 3, that's what it was, 3 sections of beets. Now I also have about 2 to 3 sections of radishes right here, and 1 row of fennel right here. So this 8-foot bed is now finished. As of right now, we're not putting any more in this one. Now where I've went also, I still have all this, but this is going to be for the peppers and everything, y'all. So back over to here, we have all our onions planted here. We got 2 sections of onions planted right here. And in this spot, we have 2 sections of Swiss chard that was just planted now. Y'all, there is no more planting that's going to be done today, but I will show you how much more I have to do. I have this entire bed, all of this to plant. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 beds to still plant. That one back yonder is got enough in it. We have this entire bed to plant in right here. So I have a whole lot more to do. I'm also going to be planting a lot of herbs. So, and I am sitting here deciding if I want to use one of these beds for a complete herb bed, which would be super, super amazing, especially with all the basil that I go through, or some of the oregano, which I have za'atar oregano, which I could dry and make homemade za'atar seasoning out of. So I am seriously considering, I am going to be planting basil with tomatoes because they compare very easy. Or they pair with each other very easy. So I have at least 2 beds that are going to be filled with San Marzanos. I have a pepper bed, if not 2. So I've got to seriously think about my spacing, because these beds here absolutely are going to be used for big root systems like eggplant, peppers, and tomatoes. So, I mean, could I probably use more? You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I probably could. That's going to be our squash one back here, because it's got trailing across that one. So, I'm looking into using up my space, y'all. Very much so. And I still have these others, so I can work with them. But this is where we're at right now, and I have to stop at this point. Okay, y'all, so outside work is now finished. Today I cannot do any more. I have so much more to do, though. I do have plants to transplant that have been growing indoors. That's got to be taken care of. I still got so many more seeds to plant. Only the ones that we can and know that they're safe, since we're not going to have much of a freeze left. If there was to have one, these seeds that I'm planting would be safe to plant. And I still have so much more to do, to go ahead and do as well. But it is now time that I need to start supper. So I'm going to end this video right here. Let's just say our season has begun, and this is what we do. It is the time to start planting seeds. And after each seed planted, after each section done, yes, y'all, I pray. I pray for God's hand upon it, and I pray for a mighty, mighty harvest. So, also, I'm working in between getting my dental stuff done. So, yeah, we'll get this. We absolutely will. You can look forward to the progress of what's going to happen. I can almost see it, and y'all, I am so super excited. I can't contain myself. I am so happy to where the point is, I am really looking forward to succession planning this year. The prices are now getting to me, and I'm getting very, very serious about this homestead. So, until next time, I love each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you again for following us, for being with us. Remember, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget that little bell. That little bell, if you don't hit it, it might look like it is, but you got to hit it to get notification. Share, and make sure you hit that like button. It tells YouTube that, hey, you actually do like me. So, love y'all. And until next time, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead.